financially, emotionally, and physically destroyed my abuser. Edit. Thank you so much to everyone for the kind words and wishes. I really appreciate it. TLDR, abuser takes childhood, children take the rest of his natural life, and 1,375,000 to boot. Edit. These values are in Australian dollars. Prologue. A bit of backstory. My mother's parents split fairly early in her life, and my grandmother remarried to a toxic pedophile. They will be referred to as A abuser and G grandmother. Due to G's extreme bipolar, and A replacing her medication with prescription painkillers, she was not very stable, or conscious for that matter, so he was the head of the house. So from a young age, about 4 or 5, victim 1v1 and I would visit A regularly, once a week for a couple days. It wasn't long before A had manipulated us, two very young people, into taking part in his sick fantasies. A had taken the time to construct a film studio set up in the roof of his house, where he would regularly abuse V1 and I. Once we had realized how wrong and horrible what was happening was, we were too scared to act. Year 3-10 Revenge. After 3.5 years of the abuse, I felt like I couldn't speak out, and being a very curious kid, I looked into ways I could hurt A since A was much larger than me. I knew it couldn't be physical, so I targeted his assets, his cars. Over the next 6-7 years I destroyed 8 cars, metal shavings in the oil, sugar in the gas tank, I even sanded down the clear coat on the doors and hood. This in total cost A 520,000. Year 11 Revenge. At this point V1 and I had come out to our parents about the abuse, outline everything from sexual assault, to rape, to production of child abuse material, and drug provision, you name it. It had happened. We soon were followed by 6 other victims who were members of family or close family friends. We took this matter to the police, who swiftly raided A's home, finding hard evidence to back all 77 charges, including hard drives, USBs, etc. This would kickstart our 4-year court case. Now let me tell you, watching A wither down into a shell of what he used to be. As barristers and the judge refer to him as horrifically grotesque and moronic in his actions, he had manufactured stories and telling false people who made him blah blah blah. Man, that is a sweet feeling. Come to the end of the court case and the verdict is reached, the rest of his life in a supermax prison, as well as 15,000 each in recognition payments, and all legal expenses paid. Due to his not guilty plea, these expenses racked up 855,000. Aftermath. All victims, including myself, have come out the other end feeling much safer, and are very happy with the verdict. It was a very long journey, but we've all luckily made the most of the support given to us throughout the proceedings. He, however, not so much. She charged me with rape. I ruined her life. So this happened almost 10 years ago, and I remember most events like it was yesterday. I went to a small rural school in Canada. If you think something is off about the story, I was your average guy. I played a few sports but wasn't the best. I was 5 feet 10, 5 feet 11, 16-year-old guy with my 2 buddies who were both a year younger than me. Now we were partiers. We loved partied, you know, smoking weed, drinking, passing out and waking up in God knows where, you know how it goes. But as a bit of a relief, we always had a legal DD and we were as safe as possible. I lived on a farm 20-minute drive from the nearest town, and my parents were gone for the weekend. My mom said I could throw a party as long as it was outside and all cleaned up when she got back. Easy enough for a good time. Now, as some background, we had a tradition that you would write your name on something when you came to the party just for a fun time. What you would sign could be anything. One girl used an extra door her family had. I knew a guy who had a book, or even the craziest guy that got it painted on the side of his house. Anyways, it was my party, and for it I had a Saturdays Are for the Boys flag that everyone would sign. So before the events that unfold, there was this girl. 17 years old and a staggering 4 feet 6 in height. Now this girl was a bitch. In fact, she will be known as B. She thought she was better than everyone and could get away with anything, including copy and pasting an assignment to hand in while we were all watching with the teacher on his screencasting app on his comp. Anyways, when this girl met me, she liked me and wanted to date me. But I politely declined cause I knew people from her old school and they said she was crazy. Anyways, the party comes and it's a classic. Loud music from the DJ. My buddy George, who was getting into DJing, and tones of drunk teens passed out on my lawn. Around a month later the police show up and I am getting charged for sexual assault on B. Me and my 2 buddies were all charged with it. Our bails were posted though and we were livid. B was going around telling everyone her sob story of how we held her down and brutally raped her at my party. Which was how we made our case. So we get to work. Every picture, video or anything from the party we had gotten, including the times they were taken, proving we were on a couch smoking weed and drinking on my lawn the entire party with at least an update every 30 minutes saying we were there. Wasn't good enough. We then proved she wasn't there because there was no evidence of her in any pictures or videos. Now the real kicker. My entire property was fenced off and we paid a 6'8" bodybuilder type to work as a bouncer. If we didn't want you there, you weren't going to be there. Also, he made sure everyone signed my flag. So here comes court. She had an excellent sob story that was completely fake, including tears and more bullshit. Our turn. We showed the pictures and videos, making sure everyone knew we had no opportunity to commit a crime. Then we proved she wasn't in any pictures or videos. Then our 6'8" bouncer as a witness. He had a camera showing everyone that entered the party. He had a proven certificate saying he had been sober for 4 years. He was in his 30s and we just hired him, knowing him from working for him at a few bigger parties, bars, etc. Then we had the flag that everyone had to sign. B was crying her eyes out. Expelled from our school and moved to a different province out of people going out of their way to avoid her. Moral of the story: don't falsely accuse people of rape. To my knowledge, every boyfriend she had left her after finding out of her false accusations of rape, and she can't even keep a pet that won't run away. Mutual friends that have her on Facebook keep me updated from time to time. Edit: so I forget to mention that those mutual friends tell all her boyfriends she get of all the allegations she made. I am recently engaged to my girlfriend and we have an adopted son and really don't care about her enough at this point. But thank you all for the support. Entitled Family Trespasses, so we total their car. So in our state you can skin a deer in your yard as long as it's a bit out of sight. You don't have to, as law enforcement don't care much. Me and my grandpa go hunting every while for whitetail, then we take it back and skin it, gut it, and all that. Me MacLeod. EK, entitled Kiddo. EM, entitled Mom. EF, entitled Father. G, Grandpa. So now that's out of the way, we can start. We had just got a nice buck and we had it registered. When you kill it, you have to make sure people know. So after we got back to our house, we set the deer up in our backyard, away from the road. We figured we didn't want kids seeing what we were doing. So we could skin it, gut it. All the nice. So we had it up on the line that we set up that went from our porch to a nearby tree. It was maybe 50 feet. Mind you, our house is a T kinda shape. One side is towards the road, and the other side is away. We had it set away. So my grandpa gets his knife and we work the fur coat off. We don't hear anyone around until... EK, whoa, what's that? So cool. I was shocked. Why in the hell was there a kid behind our house? The pelt was almost off, so we laid that over our Jeep bumper. Now my grandpa can't hear very well without his hearing aid, which he took out for a second because it was hurting his ear. I tug on G's coat. He looks at me with a shrug. I motion for him to put his hearing aid in. He does. I try to tell him about EK, but he must have run off. Now that EK was gone, we continued. My grandpa sticks the knife in the deer and he slices it open. The guts go everywhere. My grandpa gets to cutting them out when M screams, what are you doing? Now just for clarification, we have a fence and a private property sign up. G why are you back here? This is pre. M shut up with your devil chants. Me this is private property, we will call the police. M looks a little scared, shut up. My kid can be here. Mind you, her kid is behind her, and he started crying. M look what you did, you made him cry. Me and my grandpa are baffled. But since we live in the country, where there is no rhyme or reason to be out here, he grabs his shotgun. G does it like in the movies where he pulled up and slammed it down to pump it. Me in awe because I've never seen someone do that. M what the fuck, stop raping me. Yes, she fucking said that. No, just playing. She ran off. She took Ek by the arm and ran. Now you think she would be smart enough to stay away. Number. She didn't. Now we're taking the guts away and she pulls up in her minivan, behind our house. Mind you, this blocks our vehicle's path out. So since this is private property, we can block her vehicle, since she's trespassing. My grandpa signals to me to put some cinder blocks behind her vehicle and tires. Now she honks her horn like she just found out what a goose is and is trying to act like one. She keeps going and all the while is smiling. Since our house is a giant T, I walk around and grab some cinder blocks from the front. I sneak a peek at her vehicle. It's like a fucking clown car. EM gets out, then EF, then EK, and then 3 goddamn others. My grandpa notices them get out and stops what he's doing. I sneak behind her vehicle once they all get out. I lay 4 down behind her tires and stack some. I also make the cinder block barrier longer, so now you have like 12 cinder blocks completely stopping her from leaving. I walk back around and go upstairs. I walk out onto the patio and down to where my grandpa is. They're all arguing. My grandpa grabs his shotgun again. They all back up and get in their vehicle. They keep honking and my grandpa shoots into the ground in front of their car. M speeds back. Her tiny car can't get over the cinder blocks. She tries to go forward, but my other line MacLeod stopped her. My grandpa laughs and laughs. M throws it back. Crunch smash. Her vehicle was totaled. When she got over the bigger line, her car plopped onto the bricks. M gets out, what have you done? You're going to pay. G keeps laughing. F I am calling the police. He called the cops, EK cried, and they got arrested for trespassing and harassment. Pretty short story but well worth it.